It was only the first padded practice of the season, but things are already getting intense in Foxborough. Mike Vrabel officially kicked off this new chapter for the New England Patriots, and with it came plenty of storylines, some exciting, others more concerning. One of the biggest headlines from day one: an injury scare to none other than Christian Gonzalez. That's right, one of the Patriots' most important defensive playmakers walked off the field during practice, grabbing at the back of his leg after a rep against Stefon Diggs. Now, that's the kind of moment that makes the entire organization hold its breath. Early reports suggest it could be a hamstring issue, but nothing has been confirmed. The positive sign is that Gonzalez was able to walk off the field under his own power, though clearly in discomfort. Trainers immediately checked him out and later carted him off to the locker room, where he'll undergo further evaluation. There's no official update yet, but it's safe to say the team will be extremely cautious with him going forward. The timing couldn't be worse. This is the very beginning of training camp, a critical window for developing rhythm, installing the playbook, and building chemistry. Losing a player like Gonzalez, even for a short stretch, puts a dent in the early plans, especially with Friday's team scrimmage looming. What makes the injury sting even more is how much the Patriots have been counting on Gonzalez to lead this secondary. He's coming off an impressive rookie campaign and was expected to take another leap in 2025, especially in a defense that's now fully under Vrabel's command. His combination of speed, intelligence, and physicality makes him one of the most irreplaceable players on that roster. So naturally, the Patriots will be holding their collective breath until they get clarity on just how serious the injury is. On the other side of the ball, the offensive line was another major focus during practice. As expected, number 4 overall, Campbell slotted in at left tackle, but he wasn't the only rookie making noise. Third-rounder Jared Wilson, the guard out of Georgia, got the first crack at left guard during full team reps. That's a big development. It suggests that the coaching staff is ready to throw the young guys into the fire right away and see who emerges. Wilson not only held his own, he looked the part. He moved with fluidity, handled assignments well, and looked like he belonged next to Campbell on the left side. This battle at left guard is shaping up to be one of the more intriguing competitions of camp. Cole Strange, a former first-round pick, got a good amount of reps and is certainly still in the mix. But it's clear that Wilson is not just a long-term project. He's pushing for a starting job right now. Caden Wallace is also part of that equation, having made the transition from tackle to guard. He got more work with the second unit, but is very much in the hunt for a key backup role. Right now, it looks like Strange, Wilson, and Wallace are the trio competing at left guard. In that order, but it's early, and as we know, depth charts in July rarely look the same by September. Will Campbell's debut at left tackle wasn't without bumps. He got matched up one-on-one against Keon White during drills, and let's just say it didn't go Campbell's way. White looked like a man on a mission, overpowering Campbell and even knocking him off his feet at one point. But once they shifted into 11-on-11s, Campbell started to settle in. That's where his instincts kicked in, and he began asserting himself more effectively. That's the beauty of padded practices. You get to see how these guys respond once the real contact starts flying. Meanwhile, at right tackle, veteran Morgan Moses took the opening reps, but Adree Jacobs continues to rotate in. That rotation could be something to watch, especially as Jacobs gains experience. Interestingly, with Wallace kicking inside, the idea of him serving as the team's swing tackle seems less likely. Instead, Jacobs could end up filling that role, while Wallace solidifies himself as a utility interior lineman. And speaking of Keon White, the man is absolutely stealing the spotlight. It's one thing to dominate in one-on-one reps, but it's another to back it up with your words and presence off the field. White isn't just playing well, he's embodying the tone Mike Vrabel wants this team to have. He's intense, focused, and carrying himself like someone who expects excellence on every single snap. In fact, one of the standout quotes from White this offseason perfectly captures that mentality. "I don't want the offense to gain a single yard. The standard should be negative yards every play." That's not just coach speak. That's someone setting a standard and expecting others to rise to it. White also made it clear that he doesn't care about potential, he cares about production. "We haven't done anything yet, therefore, we aren't anything yet." That kind of accountability is contagious, especially in a locker room that's trying to build a new identity under Vrabel. And it's not just what he's saying, it's how he's living it. Beat reporters spotted White wrapped in a blanket with an eye mask that read "Do Not Disturb," grabbing a quick power nap in the locker room before practice. That's a guy who's basically living at the facility, doing everything he can to get an edge. If you're a Patriots fan looking for reasons to be optimistic, Keon White should be at the top of the list. He's not just earning a role, he's demanding one. Now, switching over to the wide receivers. This is going to be a storyline all summer long. We know who the top guys are. Stefon Diggs, Pop Douglas, and Kyle Williams are locked in. Mac Hollins, who was expected to be part of that group, is currently on the physically unable to perform list, which opens up a potential spot on the final 53-man roster. Keon White has been working with the starters in Hollins' absence, so right now he rounds out that top 5, but after that, things get very interesting. One name that's suddenly making noise: Jaylen Poke. The former second-round pick had a brutal rookie year and missed the first 3 practices of training camp. It was starting to look like the team might be ready to move on. But give credit where it's due. Poke showed up for the first padded practice and made a statement. He was flying around, looked confident, and even hauled in a touchdown pass from rookie quarterback Drake May. That's the kind of moment that can flip a training camp narrative on its head. Poke's rise has put pressure on veterans like Kendrick Bourne, who, despite being a respected presence, may be nearing his ceiling. Bourne has said all the right things. He even went down to North Carolina early to train with May during the offseason, but at some point, teams are forced to evaluate upside over familiarity. And Poke, at least for one day, showed that he has that upside. To other players still in the mix are Jalen Baker and Finn Chisholm. Baker had a quieter day, but the staff still sees his potential. Chisholm, an undrafted rookie, has quickly become a fan favorite with his energy and versatility. He's contributed as a wide receiver and kick returner and could carve out a role on special teams. If the coaching staff believes in his upside, it's still early, but there's a path to the roster for him if injuries or roster shifts open up a spot. So where does that leave us right now? The 5 names locked in appear to be Diggs, Douglas, Williams, Hollins pending health, and Boot. That leaves 1, maybe 2 spots up for grabs. Poke helped himself. Bourne is battling. Baker and Chisholm are still alive. This competition is far from over, and every rep from here on out matters. These early practices aren't just about who makes a big play. They're about setting a tone, establishing habits, getting noticed by coaches who are trying to build a roster capable of winning in a loaded AFC. For the Patriots, that means seeing how these rookies handle the pressure, how veterans respond to competition, and whether injuries like the one to Christian Gonzalez can be navigated without derailing momentum. For now, the team will march forward, eyes set on Friday's scrimmage, where we'll get an even better glimpse of how this roster is shaping up. The pads are on, the stakes are rising, and the New England Patriots are officially back in business. As the Patriots gear up for Friday's scrimmage, all eyes remain locked onto groups, the offensive line and the wide receivers, while Keon White and Christian Gonzalez have dominated the headlines on defense. It's the trench battles and the emerging pass catchers that could end up defining the team's offensive identity heading into the 2025 season. And what we saw in the first padded practice gave us a lot to think about. Let's start with the line. Will Campbell, the top 5 pick out of LSU, had a classic rookie introduction to the pros, flashes of dominance mixed with growing pains. Going one-on-one against Keon White isn't exactly a gentle welcome to the NFL, and White made him pay early, overpowering him and even knocking him off his base. But what made Campbell's day impressive wasn't how it started, it's how it ended, as the practice shifted from individual drills into full team 11-on-11s. Campbell looked far more comfortable. That's when his intelligence, his footwork, and his feel for spacing began to shine through. He started redirecting defenders, moving bodies, and opening lanes for the run game. That's what you want to see from your franchise left tackle, someone who learns, adapts, and grows in real time. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots, and don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The NFL world is buzzing with rumors surrounding Antonio Gibson, the dynamic running back for the New England Patriots. Sources close to the situation suggest that Gibson is growing increasingly frustrated with his current role on the team. Despite his undeniable talent and work ethic, Gibson reportedly has no intention of settling for a backup spot and is making it clear, "I will only play for a big-time team." This statement has ignited speculation that he could be seeking an exit from New England in search of a more prominent role elsewhere. Gibson's dissatisfaction seems rooted in the Patriots' recent usage of their backfield. Once considered a promising lead back, he has found himself relegated to a secondary role. Behind other running backs favored by the coaching staff, this shift has not gone unnoticed, as insiders whisper about his unhappiness and desire for a fresh start where he can showcase his full capabilities. Given Gibson's physicality and versatility, the prospect of him leaving the Patriots is creating a stir around the league, with several teams potentially interested in acquiring a proven playmaker. The timing of this unrest is crucial, with the NFL trade deadline approaching and roster moves always a possibility. Rumors are swirling that Gibson could be a trade candidate. Teams in need of a dynamic running back might view this as an opportunity to bolster their offense. With a player who refuses to settle for less than a starring role, the Patriots, known for their pragmatic approach, may be open to negotiations if they believe they can extract value while managing their roster dynamics. Fans and analysts alike are debating the implications of such a move. On one hand, Gibson's departure could leave a gap in New England's backfield depth. On the other, it might serve as a catalyst for the team to restructure and focus on players more aligned with their strategic vision. Meanwhile, for Gibson, the prospect of joining a franchise where he can start and make a significant impact is undoubtedly enticing. As this story develops, the NFL community watches closely. Will Antonio Gibson truly force his way out of New England? Or will the Patriots find a way to reintegrate their talented running back and quell the growing unrest? Whatever the outcome, the whispers of Gibson's possible departure have already injected a new layer of intrigue into this season's narrative, reminding everyone that in the NFL, player roles and loyalties can shift as quickly as the game itself. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.